In this Power City weekly live stream, I'm joined by a man who's here only ever for the tech and for nothing else, only for the tech. So with no further ado, my good friend, Mr. Fast Abdul, back in the house.
Hey, Matt. Thanks for having me, man.
Thanks for coming back on, man. How are you doing? How's things your side of the world?
Pretty good. We finally have some sunlight over here, so the snow is officially gone. There may still be small pockets of snow in the ditches and such, but we call it spring.
Snow in May, but yeah, it's nice. No, it's nice. It's nice. Sorry,
it wouldn't be the first time that it actually snowed in May. It's happened before.
Wow. What's the latest you've seen snow?
Probably a week ago, just again, in the ditches when I'm driving, there'd be the odd shadowed spot might still have a little bit of snow. There was still some ice on the lake a week ago. So yeah, it's it takes some time. It's a lot of snow, right? So it can still be today it was 18 degrees outside, right? So it's not like it's cold, or not by my standard.
Well, it sounds like it's thawing in your side of the world, and hopefully the markets are thawing, right? We've seen quite the pump in broader crypto markets. Have you seen that Bitcoin's back over 100K?
Yeah, that is crazy. And it happened fast, eh? I remember looking at 94, not very long ago, maybe yesterday or the day before. And yeah, now we're up over 100. That's incredible.
That is insane. It's the same sentiment as you. I think it was 1 or 2 days ago. I looked at it, it's 94, 95. I'm like, okay, cool. It's slowly meandering back there. And here we are over 100. Ethereum is up nearly 20% in 24 hours. Just shy of 2,200 US. What are you thinking? What's happened? What's going on?
I think things have changed intrinsically. I think the market's starting to turn around. The Fed announcement came and went, and we didn't see a big dump. And this is delayed a full 24 hours after the Fed announcement, I think, right? So it feels like it's probably sustainable. I talked to a friend of mine who's really good at charts and stuff like that, and he said 60% chance that this is a sustainable pump.
Yeah, I think so. I think later than everyone thought, but better late than never. I know that I was in some chat rooms where people are saying, I mean, again, everyone's guessing, right? But I think it was Raoul Paul was saying, okay, this could be the sustainable start, and then up until the end of the year. Again, who knows? I don't want to get my moon boots on just yet, but obviously it's nice to see crypto pumping. Even obviously the Pulse chain ecosystem has had its own pump in the last couple of days. We can see a lot of the blue chips up, Pulse up nearly 8%, PLSX over 10%, Inc 10%, and Hex over 9%. So it's translated over to Pulse chain. We've also seen. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, you're good.
Okay, sorry, I got a notification. We've also seen some other good news, right, in the Pulse chain ecosystem with Richard Hart. What are your thoughts on the SEC in the rearview mirror?
Well, the SEC in the rearview mirror is fantastic. Obviously, to have that done. There is still a waiting period before they can what's the word, before they could object to it. To bring a new case, and that goes into June. So I think what that's going to result in is Richard's probably not going to do live streams and that sort of thing until June, though he did just release a video, which had a huge impact on everything, obviously.
Yeah, I saw that. What was do you have any cliff notes from that, takeaways? I mean, I thought it was good just to see him back on camera, right, and see his face. That's a massive positive sign.
The biggest thing that I noticed was that, his face was on the screen, right? So, which is a progression from him not being on the screen back in December when he did the Christmas video. And he also talked about many more specifics to do with the Pulse chain, whereas the previous video was much more general, we could say. So I feel like he was shackled in the past, and the shackles have now come off, and they're going to come off more as time progresses towards June. And that's why I think in June, things will probably really pick up, and we'll start to get live streams. We'll start to get some more interaction more directly. And I'm sure he's got some more stuff up his sleeve. He's been talking about wallets. He's been talking about lots of things. So I think we're going to see some action, Matt.
I hope so. Just seeing him back on camera, and like you said in that video, there definitely was more specific stuff on PulseX, on Pulse Chain. Then before it was more of an overview, right, of crypto and where he thought things may go. But this is very positive. You know, 2025 didn't start exactly how we all thought, but then whenever you think it's going to go one way, a lot of the time it goes the other way. So it looks positive. So while things are in the green, make hay while the sun shines. We can also see ink in the middle there. Like I said, up nearly 10% in the last 24 hours. Is that 24 hours? Let's have a look.
That's in 24 hours. But if we look back to just a couple days ago, I think we saw like $1.10 ink. So we have like, we have a pretty big pump on ink. I think more than most of the other cores, ink's going up quite a bit to get to $1.50.
Yeah, you're right. I remember seeing it not too long ago at around $1.10.
Yep.
So it's had quite the pump. Talking about ink, obviously ink printer has been live now for a few months, right?
Indeed. Well, I think we're still under a few months, but we're more than 1 month. Or around 53 days, something like that.
Okay.
Which is great, because what that means is that the redemptions have started on ink printer. They were set out 45 days, where the other liquidity forks did 14 days. That was a little bit of an experiment, a little bit of a faith that people would react the way that they did, which worked out really well, because it gave them a cushion where they didn't have to worry about redemptions. But there's always the danger when there's no redemptions that you're going to have trouble keeping the peg of the stable coin. But what people were doing was they were buying it up at discounted rates and using it to pay off their loans, which is still a viable option, right? Like if you see a stable coin on one of these liquidity forks, Earn, Flex, Liquid Loans, or Ink Printer under $1, and you have a vault, you can buy that up and pay off your loan at a discount, just like the bank sent you a coupon. So that's what we were seeing while redemption was turned off. But now that it's turned on, we're seeing that obviously it has more ways to return to the dollar as far as the peg goes, but the system isn't being abused. And I think the main reason for that is that it's it's really hard to find the redemption button. I would challenge you, Matt, that it's not as intuitive as most people would think. Though that's not really an issue for most people. But the second thing is that the minimum redemption amount is $5,000. You can't redeem $100, can't redeem $50. It's got to be $5,000. So for one, that prevents bots from picking away at pennies, which is something I'm seeing in, like on other protocols, and certainly in trading and stuff like that. Like the bots will take a penny when they can make a penny, whereas a human won't do that. So when it's $5,000, most of the bots aren't going to play. It's just not what they're programmed for. And then for users to, abuse the system to, take $5 here and $5 there, well, that's not what it's made for. It's made to, push it up towards $1 when it's, when it's far enough from $1 that it's worthwhile. And with 5,000 as the minimum, it changes the math a little bit. And that results in people not having to worry as much about their collateralization level. If you take a look at the risky vaults tab there, the Matt, you'll see that our minimum is, relatively high compared to a lot of other liquidity forks. 261% is the lowest vault. I'm not saying I recommend being the lowest vault, because that guy is more likely to get redeemed against, which of course is a fairly neutral thing. Like it just means somebody paid off part of your loan. But we have like a lower average collateralization level than the other liquidity forks. And I think that's extremely positive.
Yep. And also, like you said, people, it's quite neutral getting paid off. A lot of people think getting your being redeemed against is a bad thing, but remember, you're getting part of your loan paid off, and then even if me and Jesse have talked about this, if the market goes down, you could buy back more with the money, with the stables that you got, and end up with actually more collateral. So it's not it's quite a neutral thing compared to what a lot of people get worried about.
Oh, definitely. And it's just that, Matt. It's if the market goes down after you got redeemed against, you won. If it went up after you got redeemed against, you lost. But it's just like you were sitting on the sidelines for that portion of time. So I think, the biggest thing is it's not part of someone's plan unless they actually plan to do that, which is fine. Some people might plan to get redeemed against. That's actually a viable move. But there is, there's definitely peace of mind and people not having to worry about it as much, and having that lower collateralization level results in better usage of the protocol. So hopefully we can maintain that. We still have 2.81 million ink inside the protocol, which is over $4 million worth now. So
$4.2 million.
Yep. No, 2.81. There we go. 2.81 million ink tokens, which is $4.22 million.
It's a lot of ink locked up. And let's not forget that ink at its all-time high hit what, $80? More than $80?
Yeah. What would that be? Let's do some moon math.
Let's do some moon math. So
$80 times 2.81 million.
Is it 81?
Yeah.
2.81 million, yeah.
That'd be 224.8 million.
Wow. Get your moon boots on. That's that
the
is
fees the protocol would be paying if that happens, it would be ridiculous, right? Like, staking print tokens or staking ink dollars with an $80 ink token and $224 million in the protocol. That'd be pretty interesting.
You'd be laughing all the way to the DeFi bank, your own Trezor or Ledger. But so like we've talked about, as collateral rises, obviously you can take out more. We've talked about this before, but as the collateral rises, obviously your collateral ratio rises, right? And you can pull out more stable coins, more value behind that. So there's multiple ways to use this. And again, not financial advice, but we've seen ink as high as $80. We're now seeing ink at around $1.50, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of run room if the bull market is around the corner.
Yeah. Every time the price of ink doubles, you can effectively take out more and stay at the same collateralization level. So like if you put in $5,000 to begin with and took out $2,500, and then ink goes up to $10,000, right? Like then you can take out another 50% and stay at that same level. So people can just use it to constantly feed off of, rather than selling their crypto and capture all the pump potentially.
Yeah, there's multiple ways to use it, and especially if you're lucky enough to get in somewhere near the bottom, it starts to go up. You can, again, not financial advice, it can even be used as a stop loss. It can be used as a way where you want to sell, you want to take profits, but you're not sure if the market's going to go either way, right? So you can take a loan. If you get liquidated, okay, I was going to sell anyway. If not, it keeps running. I've still got my vault open. I can still pull out collateral. I can still pull out stable coins as the collateral increases. So there's multiple plays with this, but it's good to see that, wow, over 4 million US locked up in there, 2.81 million ink at the moment. And I do like what you've done with redemptions as well, stopping bots and people coming in and redeeming for no reason, because I've talked about this as well. People should also check out dexes like Pateus and what's not, because you can sometimes get a better rate swapping there. I've showed that before. It's not always best to redeem inside the protocol, right? Have you seen that yourself?
Oh, definitely. Pateus in particular is better for swapping ink dollars. And I think the reason for that, it looks like there's a whale that's done a V3 position on the 9mm exchange, actually. So you can actually see that there is, I can actually pull it up here because it's kind of interesting.
Okay.
Pateus. They have a great feature.
Can you share your screen?
You can actually see that how the transaction will flow if you agree to it.
Do you if you just ask for permission, then I can share that screen for you.
Sure, you bet. Percent. Here she is.
Okay.
Sorry, my a little slow right now. It's not popping up.
So this is for 9mm, you said.
Well, I'm going to show it on Pateus because it'll show the routing.
Okay.
So if it's still on 9mm, it's going to give us that information. So if I want to trade between DAI, which is the main pair for ink dollar, Oh, I'm gonna have to drop the contract number in there.
So DAI being dollars, right?
That's what I'm going for.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay.
Would you mind pulling it up, Matt? I think my internet's just too
Sure.
slow right now.
Sure. Sorry. Give me 1 sec. So we're going for let me just launch this quickly. We're going, what's the pair?
We're going to go from DAI from Ethereum to Inc. dollars.
Okay. So DAI to Inc. Okay. Let me grab
the contract number for you.
Yeah, I got it here.
You got it? Good.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Yeah.
So put in 5,000 DAI. Let's see if we can get a bargain. 4949. So not a bargain. Which is fine because that means it's high enough that it's not returning a profit, right?
Yeah.
So go to show the routing on there. Let's see what it says. There you go. Okay, it's all pulling off PulseX. Try lowering that to let's do $1,000 and see if it finds a deal.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, $9.
There you go.
Yeah, and if we zoom in on that a little bit, we can see that 59% of that trade's coming out of 9mm V3, and 41's coming out of PulseX V2, and they're not rooting through any other token. It's still just DAI to Inc. dollar. But yeah, there's a $9 deal on $1,000. But if you go to the bigger number, $5,000, there wasn't a deal, and then it was just rooting through the main liquidity on PulseX. At which point, there's actually a small advantage to just buy directly on PulseX instead of on Pidius. Minor,
Yeah.
like you're talking pennies, but there is a small difference. $19. That's not bad.
So you got 79% of that's going through 9mm. So there is ways to make money, right?
Yep.
And so what's the bottom line here? You don't always have to go into the protocol to redeem. There are other ways. I would say before you do it, check the dexes, check Pateas, check PulseX, and
totally.
You can,
it just depends where the deal is on that day, and it's not always going to be the same, right? So and as far as redemption goes, like if even like other stable coins, like DAI has slippage too. Like if we look at the value of DAI that it's showing on Pidius on your screen right now, it's actually $1,993.45, right?
Yeah.
So because like they are just ERC20s, right? Like then, and they have a limited supply on Pulse Chain that moves back and forth. Often it goes over the dollar as well. Like that could be $2,010 that the DAI was actually valued at right now. It just depends on the swaps that are happening in the moment and what's happening in those liquidity pools.
Yeah, everything's happening in real time. So whenever I've had some PXDC or some USDL or whatever, I will check various places before I swap it, because again, it's great. The redemption function is there. It's needed to keep that stable coin pegged, but there are other ways to do it. So everything.
This trade we're looking at here, like the trade from DAI to Inc. dollars, that's where there's an actual benefit, right? So like if you can get a sale on stable coins, that can be a good move. So I don't know if I would take the $19 right now, considering slippage and all those things. But if it said $50, like $2,050 for $2,000 for the DAI, then that's a trade I might make, right? Like whenever you can trade a stable for more stables, that's generally beneficial. Once we start to get into the hundreds of thousands of dollars, the math changes a bit. But for smaller players, just to pick up $50 here or there, if you're in stables anyway, it's not a bad move. And you trade it for a stable that doesn't have any yield opportunities to a stable that has single-sided staking options, which is not terrible. Like to sit in Inc. dollars right now. Let me see what the yield is today on single-sided staking Inc. dollars.
In the stability pool, you've got 21%, 21.79%.
21% for single-sided staking of a stable coin. Yeah, that's not terrible. And then there is the there's also the yield farm that's Inc. dollars to DAI from Ethereum, right? So that's basically single-sided staking too. A little more work to get in there, and that's paying 22.5% or something like that. So, but either way, like that's a more productive stable coin than DAI for most people.
Yep. So if you've got some Inc. D sitting in your wallet, and rather than gathering dust, you can stick it in the stability pool and get nearly 22%, or you can put it in that, or in that Inc. D DAI LP and provide liquidity, bring that LP token, stake that, and you'll get close to 22.98, so nearly 23% there. So much more than you'd get in any legacy finance bank, right?
Yep, exactly.
Staying on Ink Printer, we know that you've got some things coming down the pipe, some more incentives. What's the deal with that so far?
Here, I'm going to share a tab here, Matt. Let's see if we can get this going on. Just going to set up my test wallet. Yeah, we're good. Sure. So first off, on 2FUX, we have one great farm right now that I think people will enjoy. There we go. So we have the RH laser printer pool, which is paying 259.41% APR. And that's 50% print token paired against all RH assets. So against Hex, Ink, PulseX, and Pulse. So these, in my opinion, these are all good things. The APR is made up of mostly 2FUX tokens, but also FUX tokens and 10% in swap fees, which means it's just compounding of the things in the pair. You're getting more Pulse, Hex, Ink, PulseX, as well as print token for participating and getting paid a whole bunch of FUX and 2FUX to the tune of 259% APR. So I think a person could do worse than that.
Yeah, I think so. Wow. So
I got one more.
Just to reiterate quickly to people that might not know the difference between FUX and 2FUX. Yeah, you can stake like a whale in 2FUX, right? And maybe we can explain that just quickly.
Basically, yeah. And what I can do here is I'll pull up the FUX page, and we can actually look at the difference. Oops, I lost it. So I'm going to find this. Oh, here it is. Find the same farm on FUX.io. So, and this is FUX.io is the DEX. So that's where you want to enter the liquidity pair. You can do it on 2FUX if it doesn't show you the slippage numbers and stuff and gives you large disclaimers telling you not to do so. So, but if you go to FUX, it takes a little longer to load. It's pulling a lot of data, but we will get there. Then you enter the LP position here. And then you have an LP token in your wallet, and you can then stake via 2FUX.io. And then you end up getting paid more.
Nice. So staking really like a whale without having to be a whale.
Yep. So, but the beauty of this pair is that it has all these RH assets paired against print. And then the other main pair on PulseX is print directly to Ink. So when any of these assets pump, they're going to pull up the price of print with it, which I feel is a positive thing.
Yep. A rising tide lifts all ships, right?
Indeed. When I think with RH streaming, it really is prudent to pair, tokens to RH assets. That it's a bonus to have that connection. When Pulse does 100x, yeah, I want to have my tokens paired against it. Ink has huge potential because of the low liquidity situation and the reduced inflation, and that's the main pair for print right now.
Yep. Well, the day RH starts streaming again, it's time to pop the champagne, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. I wonder if we see a God candle that day. I'm sure we see if we can see quite a decent pump of just a video, right? A live stream where he's face on camera answering questions. It's so funny
If he goes live with like Matty Allen or Crypto Copy and stuff and starts interacting with the audience, right? Like we're going to see a whole different level of pump.
Yeah,
it's going to be, yeah, a very substantial pump that would occur. So I'm confident there would be a difference. I'll show you one more thing that we're working on here, Matt. So we've talked about before the S print, staked print contract. So this isn't available for users yet, but the front end is just about ready. And we can do a little bit of a demo here of how it works. So here's the regular ink printer page. It has all the same numbers and everything. There's no difference except for this one extra box, which says liquid stake print. So normally people would stake their print here here in the regular print staking. And they still have this option. We're just giving more options. But with the liquid stake print option, they're able to convert their print to S print, which is the liquid stake print, just by pressing the convert button. I put in however much print they want. Oh, it's mad at me. But this is the demo page. So then they'll be able to convert it to S print, right? And then they can redeem it for the regular print at any time. Then over on 2Fox, I actually have a farm all ready to go, but it's not into. People shouldn't interact with this yet. It's still not doing anything. But I have an S print to print farm all set up, right? For when it's ready. Now, and again, don't buy S print. It's you can convert it 1-for-1 for print tokens. So you just get print tokens, and then you can via the protocol you'll be able to make S print. But this is a farm that'll have no impermanent loss whatsoever because it is redeemable 1-for-1 at any time. The S print factory farm will just be print versus print. And then when in a time like this where Richard starts streaming, we got like Ethereum over 2,000 again, we got Bitcoin over 100,000. The no impermanent loss farming solution is really important. So I'm quite happy with that option. Here's another one that I like right above, which is pulse to pulse to pulse with these liquid staking forks of pulse. So it's fitting that they're beside each other. When these two go live, they're both going to be good, no impermanent loss farming options. And I think we're going to see some pretty decent APRs here once they get booted up. Probably looking at a couple weeks for those votes to go through and for all the details to come in. But the end result is people just on the same page that they usually go to, they'll have an option to either stake their print directly or turn it into S print, which they can pair against print. Again, the same thing, redeemable 1-for-1, and then farm it, making yield in Fox, 2Fox, as well as compounding inside the pair.
This is great.
Stage one.
That's just stage one. Well, this is great because I know a lot of people do get scared of impermanent loss, right? And they're worried about losing one side of their tokens. But if you take that away and you give them a good APR, better than they're getting in the bank or anywhere else, it's kind of a no-brainer, right? Why would you not do it?
Well, and probably what I think is going to happen is this S print pair on 2Fox is going to pay more initially than probably people are getting paid to just stake their print via the ink printer webpage. So what'll happen is a lot of people will migrate over there to do the farming, which means the people that remain and decide to just keep staking their print for whatever reason, they'll end up getting paid a little bit more than they were before because both pools will be less diluted because half the people will move to one and half the people will stay in another, which is great. The big bonus of S print though is when people make that choice to move into S print and to farm it against print tokens with no impermanent loss, the print tokens are actually staked in the protocol, and they'll use the yield that they get, which is in ink and ink dollars, to buy up S print off the market and burn it, meaning that those tokens will permanently be staked in the protocol and permanently be buying up S print tokens, and permanently locking them in the protocol again. So it'll just turn into a large machine that just keeps buying itself. So this will just be the start of that. The farming is going to incentivize people to participate. But once it gets rolling, even if there was $1 in there, it would actually never stop. It would just keep buying itself and buying itself and buying itself. $1 could turn into many dollars in a short period of time. But if people really go for it because oh, look, there's 200%, 300% APRs in a farm, and you see hundreds of thousands of dollars of print getting turned into S print, And remember, they can move back at any time. It's just a 1-for-1 redemption. It's just a liquid staking contract. It's very simple. It's not like running validators or anything like that. But if they are participating and there's thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars of print tokens in there, it will be buying itself up at a serious rate. Like, the amount of ink and ink dollars getting paid out to print stakers, it's breaking $1,000 a day quite often, right? So that's a lot of buy pressure over time, especially when we see the price of ink rise up, back towards that $80 we'd like to see. Then it could be thousands or tens of thousands a day in buy pressure from the protocol itself.
Wow! And you said this is the first step. There's more to come down. Can you tease about that at all? Or
but wait, there's more.
There's
more.
Sure,
I got a whole sales pitch on that one, Matt.
No one can blame you for just lying around and doing nothing, Fast Abdul, can they? You're always working on something. You're bringing more utility. You're bringing more DeFi yield to Pulse Chain. So yeah, if 2 fucks wasn't enough,
I do my best, Matt.
Staking like a whale wasn't enough for you on 2 fucks, then you've got Ink Printer. You've got all these different ways. You've got S-Print coming soon. Consistent new ways to farm. So do you want to? Okay, here we go. Let me share this.
Oh yeah, there's always going to be something new. I get bored really easily, Matt. That's the problem.
Okay, well that's good for us.
But anyway, here we have the longer term plan. Indeed. So S-Print to print, we pretty much have this part of the plan done, right? And then when that happens, you can farm it on 2 fucks, and you get fucks and 2 fucks as well as the compounding. And then the S-Print contract is using ink dollars at ink to buy up S-Print, which is, remember, a 1-to-1 print equivalent. So obviously it's going to pull up the print price and burn it, so that it's going to continuously do that for as long as the protocol exists. And I don't mean the S-Print portion, I mean the ink printer protocol itself. That's stage 1. So then stage 2, working with the Hocus Pocus team, we're setting up farms specific to ink printer that will pay in a special new token we're calling the Incinerator token that has an option. You can hold it in your wallet and you'll get paid in ink tokens to hold it. If you decide to sell it, there'll be a fee that will buy and burn S-Print as well. So it will be like a farming solution, just like any other. It's actually a fork of the same thing that PulseX is a fork of. It's like a Sushi Swap farming front end, same as Pancake Swap, and it will allow you to do pairs like ink dollars versus PXDC, and then you'll get paid in this Incinerator token. So people will be using ink dollars or print in every single farm, and then they get paid in a special additional token that if they choose to hold that token, they're going to get more ink. So everything about this, about ink printer, about print tokens, it's all designed to put more ink into your wallet or to give you additional utility for ink that you wouldn't have otherwise. There's a good chance too that we may be able to also distribute this Incinerator token via 2 fucks, because we have a special utility where we can add additional reward tokens in certain circumstances. And the Incinerator token could be distributed on some of the 2 fucks pairs that contain print or ink dollars as well.
Wow. So it's a lot. There's a lot coming down the pipe. If you like ink, then you can make more ink and you can make more derivatives of print token, S-Print. There's a lot coming down the pipe, man. So you're hard at work at the moment getting all this done. Perfect timing if we start to, if things, again, I don't want to jinx it, but with the markets looking good, looking green, this is the time to have more ways to get more people into the core tokens. The core, like we said, we have all the 4 core tokens, right? The 4 blue chips in Pulse Chain. Let me just share this tab again. We can see those here. Pulse, PulseX, Ink, and Hex. There's all, sorry, here we go. Pulse, PulseX, Ink, and Hex all now have liquidity forks, and you can use your tokens as collateral to borrow against them, and Ink is no different now, and lots of different ways to earn yield with that. So how are you feeling? Positive about the future?
Oh, totally. You know what? It's kind of weird, man. It's almost, I got so used to being in the bear market. It's almost stressful that things are going to get easier. Does that make any sense at all?
It does, because you're so used to it, right? And you're like, and then you're thinking, I know what you're, well, correct me if I'm wrong. It's kind of like when everything starts to pump, like, what do I do? Do I make the best decisions? Do I carry on making yield here, or do I pull some out here and sell some? And maybe I sell too early. And is that what you're thinking? Kind of like overload on what you're going to do?
Kind of like that, but it's more like where is my stress? I'm so used to having this stress of like, oh no, there's a dip here and there's a dip there. I just need to keep building, right? And now it's like, oh, it's starting to happen. Everything's starting to go up. And you know, I don't want to stop doing what I'm doing. I want to just, you know, keep being like, oh, I need, I'm under pressure. I need to work. So yeah, I'm just gonna pretend it's not happening. It's still a bear market for me, and I'm just gonna keep building.
You know what it is? I think what we're talking about is actually the same thing. Humans, we're weird, right? We adapt quickly, but then we also don't like change. So when we get used to something, even if that thing, for example, I remember when my brother and his wife were moving from a tiny, small inner city apartment in London to a nice big 4-bedroom house in the suburbs. And his wife was like, on the last day, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to move. Right. Even though she was moving to a nicer area, safer, nicer house. It's like, better the devil, you know, right? Sometimes.
Yeah. It could be that.
I definitely think that sometimes it's like, oh, I'm used to this, even though it's stressful or whatever, I'm used to this and I'm not sure what's ahead. But either way, right? I think your mindset's great.
It's like staying with a bad girlfriend, you know? It's like
I've never done that in my life. Never.
No, not you.
No, not me. I've never stayed too long. We all have, right? But yeah, it's right. You're getting something from it. It's giving you something, but it's also taking something away. And I think your mindset is the right mindset. That if it's the bear market, head down, grind, build. And even though it might feel stressful, that might not be there forever, because you're used to having that productive energy where it's like build and create things and then move on to the next thing. I'm sure you won't be complaining if your holdings of various tokens increase multiples as well.
I'll get my mind around it, I think, Matt. You know, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to have. But like, we're not there yet anyway. Like, we still need to do these streams. We still need to build these protocols. We still need to get the word out to the wider crypto sphere about Pulse Chain, right? Like, we haven't made it yet, even though these little pumps, you know, comparatively little to what they will be in the future, feel good. I think we still got to keep pushing.
You're right, day by day, and it's easy to get carried away. It's easy to be. It's weird, isn't it? Because sometimes you're like, it's never coming back. It's never coming back. We're doomed. And then suddenly something breaks, like the SEC case or whatever. So a government comes into power, and then you think, who are more crypto friendly, and you think, oh my God, hallelujah, it's all going to change. Actually, I quite like, which comes from Buddhist philosophy, the middle path, right? Don't get too excited. Don't get too depressed. Stay somewhere in the middle most of the time. When you find yourself going off either end of the in the pool, pull yourself back to the middle way, because as we know, most things in life, as you know, being a builder, right, on Pulse Chain, it's step by step. Things take time, and yeah, we've still got work to do. There's still work to do. So good to see you back on here, man. We'll have to have you back on also when more things go live. You said around 2 weeks, maybe, until S-Print is up.
I think it's out of 2 weeks. We'll have that S-Print farm up and running with some interesting APRs, and we'll have the could have some more announcements on the Incinerator token and the farms with Hocus Pocus as well. So yeah, we're just going to keep pushing that, amongst other things.
Awesome, man. Well, when those go live, come back on here, tell us all about it. In the meantime, where can people find you, or where should they go if they want more info and updates on the Ink Printer protocol?
I think for Ink Printer, you can start with the website. So inkprinter.com, incprinter.com. Find the Telegram links there, I believe. You can find me at Fast Abdul, as seen on the screen, on Twitter, as well as on Telegram. Everybody watch out for scammers. As the numbers go up, the scammers come in. I've rooted out numerous Fast Abdul clones on Telegram, and there's even been some that have popped up on Twitter on occasion. So as a general rule, I will not DM you. I won't send you a private message first. If you want to contact me about something, feel free, but do it via one of the Telegram rooms that you know is legit, and you click on you click on the person that has the owner tag attached to the room. There are even fake rooms out there, though, so you have to be really careful to make sure everything is what it's supposed to be. Never give out your seed phrase. Never give out your private keys. Right. And don't click sketchy links on the internet. Now is a very dangerous time.
Stay on your toes, basically, crypto. Yep. Just like life, there's pitfalls everywhere. And founders of protocols are not going to be asking you for your private keys or your seed phrases. So, yeah. Well, great, man. Good to see you as always. Thanks for your time. And looking forward to streaming again with you in a couple of weeks.
Sounds good. Thanks, Matt.
Take care, man. Thanks for watching, guys. And for any of the dApps we've talked about, and also all of the live PowerCity dApps, you can find the link below in the description box. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.